I'm a second year at ERC, and I chose to be in the community activism position because in high school I was really involved with different nonprofit orgs, grassroots orgs that dealt with like social and political awareness, activism, and education for like students of color. And so I feel like this position like really fits in with what I'm interested in. I specifically work with like a Filipino site for my org, so I feel really, I guess I have experience with working with Filipino youth and teaching about Filipino history, even though I'm not Filipino myself. So yeah, and I also have an interest with working with different orgs, so I think SAC fits in just right. Yeah.
Some questions for Anna? Francis?
Can you tell me about your high school experience with that community?
Okay, so in high school I worked with a nonprofit called Asian Pacific Islander Youth Promoting Advocacy and Leadership, and we had different sites, and the site that I was involved with was called Filipino Advocates for Justice, and with that I facilitated workshops. Like it was like GBMs every week, and we focused on different topics like racism, sexism, body image, like Spanish colonization in the Philippines, like just different workshops like that. And so we empowered our students and gave them like peer support. We organized like different events. We kind of had something like PCC at the end of the year, just to have a festival for all our students.
Okay, I have a question from Jane. In the past, KP has been criticized for the lack of support within the SAC space. How do you plan to bridge the gap between KP and the SAC community?
I feel like for our GBMs, I would suggest having more GBMs that have like that political awareness for our students. I feel like, you know, we focus on the social aspect a lot, and I would like to bring in the political aspect a little bit. I remember we had a GBM about bridging like between Philippines and like African American culture and something, and I really like that because people were like really shocked about all the things they learned about. So I think I would try to like hold workshops like that, and then just bring it back to SAG, or like mold, or just have events that work with different SAG works. So collaboration.
Any other questions for Anna? There's still 3 more. Tony.
Hello. So I guess there's like I can't speak for the whole GBMer community, but apparently like political issues are actually I would say a fear in like I guess most people. So how would you help alleviate that fear in the community?
I feel like when students hear political, they're just like, oh, I'm not about that, like, I don't want to learn about all this stuff, it's too boring, but I feel like, well, from my experience working with APAL, the way they did it was they empowered youth by teaching them their history that they didn't learn in school, and that wasn't that didn't come off as fear, that came off like, wow, like I actually know my history now, and that actually made students like feel empowered, they felt better about themselves, less self-conscious. So I guess it depends on how people teach, how they facilitate, and the subject matter.
Harry.
So this position is still like very amorphous and doesn't like really have a lot of self-responsibility. So what would you like to accomplish by the end of this year?
By the end of this year, I want to establish a better relationship with Tony and Jane, and I also want to get a more concrete idea of what SAC does. I've been to like one of their meetings, but I just want to work better with SAC and like communicate better between KP and SAC. That's one of my goals.
So, social awareness has a lot of things to do in the week. They have so many meetings and just so many things to accomplish. How would you help alleviate that stress, because you're going to be co's, right? And how do you handle stress, and how would you prioritize, between meetings, like with different orgs on campus and KP board and the events that KP has and your homework and all of that?
I feel like I'm a really laid-back person. I don't really like to let stress get in my way. So I like to plan out things. I like to be really organized, so I have a planner. How would I alleviate my own stress?
Yeah, like help alleviate for Jane and Tony and yourself as well.
Okay. So since we'll be working together a lot, I feel like we would just balance what our roles would be. Like if somebody's working too much, we'll probably just ask them like if they need help or my support. So their stress levels aren't very high. And then for myself, I just do my own thing. I drink tea. I just don't let myself get stressed. If I do, I just go outside for a walk. I really like being outdoors and with nature and like hanging out with people and having fun.
So thank you, Anna.